good to have you with us. I'm going to just dive in because I got to tell you, there's so much to talk about. I thought, I'd have all this, leisurely time. We're just going to dive in. Forget the introductions. Everybody knows who everybody is. Let's talk trading because this is what really it's all about. So my first question to everybody is chase versus retrace. What I mean by that is, are you a breakout trader or are you a buy the retrace trader? I'm fascinated to know the mentality of each one of you. Both on maybe on a short-term basis, and don't tell me it depends. If it does depend, then tell me what it depends on and how you would trade it. But I'm going to go to Deli first. Are you a chase trader or are you a retrace trader when it comes to trading?
First off, I feel like I'm on a game show right now, don't you, Jimmy? Like looking at this, you and Shy. I'm looking at this going chase versus retrace. I'm like, am I going to answer this question right here? So for me, I am always retrace.
Okay.
No, I know. I'm just messing around.
Okay.
For me, I'm always retrace. I wish I was chase because in this market, it feels like chase is getting paid a lot more than retrace, and retrace is a lot harder. Right. But I'm really built for a mean reversion trade, and I'm built for like trying to go back with trend on a mean reversion move.
Right.
But watch that they're paying people for chase versus retrace, but I'm retrace.
Interesting. Definitely a good point. What do you think, Jimmy? Chase.
I'm the exact same way. I'm retrace. And I like the funny thing is Chai is probably a breakout trader. A lot more. I know she is a lot more than me. I don't know if she does both, and she's shown me this year. I've always been the type of guy, like, don't be afraid to miss the move, wait for the retrace. And, you miss the move, you look for the next setup. But I've really seen, especially trading commodities this year with Tracy, that you have to be aggressive in a lot of these moves. You got to jump on them. You gotta, buy that breakout because there isn't a retrace in a lot of these products. They just go. And by the time they do retrace, that the move's over, and it's it's done. Yeah, so I'm adapting, but I've always been a retrace guy, but I'm adapting, and I'm seeing the benefits of adding that more aggressive breakout move to my repertoire just by watching Tracy operate.
Really interesting. So, Tracy, Chai girl, tell us, I know why these guys are retrace, but tell us why you're chase. I'm curious. Is it because you're just a better trader than they are? No, I'm kidding.
No. I think it's with, I mainly trade commodities and, equities and commodities. And so, again, a lot of those move breakout. I like to see like a breakout and then a little bit of a retrace of the breakout, then to get back, then to get into the trade. But again, a lot of these moves in commodities, you just kind of have to jump on. Right. And so, and if it does retrace, you can always leave. You don't have to put a full position size on and just go for the gusto every time, right? You can leave some room to add if you do get that retrace that you're looking for.
Interesting. I think this is a really interesting point from like a whole bunch of levels, that if you come from a commodity market, commodities by their very nature are kind of constrained products, right? Like, when there's a shortage, there's just no price high enough that you can pay for it. And when there's a surplus, there's no price low that you can pay for it, right? And I think that type of dynamic naturally creates much stronger breakout markets. Generally, there are periods like in the late 90s when commodities were just in a range-based market, and it killed every breakout trader. But from a equity point of view, I think all of us who have made markets, the thing people don't understand is that market making mentality, you're always selling the offers, you're always buying the bids, whether you're doing it on a scalp basis or even on a longer term basis, because we're always trading against the crowd. It's just how market making is. Market making by its very nature is mean reversion, right? In terms of doing it. And I think because we've just been trained in that methodology for so long, it's very hard for any of us to like just go with momentum. Would you agree, Jimmy and Anthony?
Absolutely. And markets morph too. And
right.
there's certain times when you want to be more aggressive. You want to that you're in a market where the train is leaving the station, and this might be your only spot on. And then there's times when markets are grinding and choppy and stuff. So it's always a process of morphing to what's in front of me when I trade. I never marry to one thing or the other. I do naturally, I do want to be patient. I do want that perfect spot. I want that retrace, but it's there is no one, fit in trading, especially if you're a scalper or a prop trader, you don't leave any stone unturned with your trading. I'm always trying to do trades that make me uncomfortable. Breakout trades make me uncomfortable. I try to force myself to do them. I try to get, but I realize it's not really my game. So I don't say, I never say, there's a certain thing I don't do in trading, that's I would never try that. I'm not that guy or whatever, if it's out there, I'll work on it. I might not be great at it, but I'll work on it.
Right. You'll try sushi once, right? Is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Anthony, do you agree with me that it's our innate, just from being on the floors, that you're naturally forced, you're kind of buying bids, selling offers, that mentality, it's hard to break that mentality and buy breakouts all the time? Or have you matured, or do you have a different perspective on all of this?
Well, the difference is on the floor, if you bought an offer, is because there was bids coming in and you physically could see them doing it. So you had a lean. Right. And I don't feel like I have any edge. I heard you talk about that in the last segment, buying into a rally. I mean, I like the only retrace fade chase move that I like is the moves where, I lost it on Friday, but when we rip lower in the market because the trend has been higher, I like to fade that breakout lower and try to buy something into weakness for a rally. So it's instead of chasing it, I would fade that chase lower. But I just think that, in this market,
you're buying the retrace. You're still fading. You're fading the dip. You're buying a dip because you think it's gone lower. It's hard to break old habits. You are definitely,
I won't buy into it at the rallies. It's funny. It's I can't. I look at the rallies. I just think it's so hard for me to manage risk. The minute I just feel like I have a weak hand. Every time if they start to go my way, it's either I want to take profits immediately, or when it goes against me, I can't hold it. I know that's not structured.
I knew I bought the top. I knew, but I'm the same way.
Exactly. I feel that. I feel that all the time.
Another